Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Sunday evening frequency meditation. Well, we're at the end of October, and as we know, October 31st is Halloween, and all of the various forms that Halloween have created, the realities, the dimensions around us, that this whole story about Halloween and witches and ghosts and boogeymen and entities and spirits and all these things, all out to get us, all in the dark, all there just to destroy whatever we have. But why don't we dive into that a little bit in a meditation? I have some experience of not what the Halloween version is, but certainly by spending time with the tribes in the rainforest, certainly entities and different spirit guides, spirits have come into my experience. And also I've been shown through my higher self, my timeless self, also how I take back control and know that whether we understand it or not, we humans, we're at a very, very high frequency compared to everything else. We're the only ones that we know that can actually do this magic act, that come from the limitless into a time-bound physical being. Wow, that's a pretty impressive act, whether we're conscious of it or not. So we are very high beings, and on the other side, if you like, there is complete transparency. There is a pecking order. Everyone knows exactly where they are at the frequency level. And also with that, nothing, I don't like to use the words above or below, but that's the narrative we use here. Nothing below, less clear, can ever influence you in any way. The greatest weapon, just like Halloween, is fear. So with this meditation, let's really go a little bit deeper into what are all these other sources out there that seems to intimidate us and create great fear, or on the reverse, some people, regrettably, decide to partner up with them and to see how they can create a better life in this physical density with just a very small price tag of giving away a little bit of their light. So with that, sit back and let's start the meditation. And next week, I'll see you from Vancouver. Not quite as nice weather, but it's still beautiful there regardless. Okay, let's just get started. Noticing yourself in your body. And then noticing the environment outside of your body, a very distinct separation between you in your body, where your skin ends, and then where your outer environment begins. Let's just start by taking a deep breath in to a count of 4. Holding that breath to a count of 4. And then exhaling through the mouth to another count of 4. Nothing magical about the count, so when I say take a breath in, just noticing the 3 movements, and you can do it to your own count. The main thing is to be disciplined. You can't be disciplined with your breath. It's very difficult to be disciplined when we start going into these other realms, realities, opening up new knowledge for you. So we just want to do it with precision. So as we take another deep breath in, being here right now, as I bring in these frequencies from nature, they're perfectly aligned, perfectly defined to help us be better aligned and better defined as who we are. There's a lot of confusion in the world today with humans, who they are, down to their gender, political stance, values, beliefs, even knowing if they're human or not. So as we take a deep breath in, we want to be more defined so we can open up this discussion about different sources out there that Halloween celebrates. and to see with a little bit more accuracy what is your truth, how you define these other sources, if at all. So as we take a deep breath in and coming into our whole skeleton, the whole skeleton system, noticing that in its entirety. And then let's come into the heart area, the chest, noticing the heart protected by the ribs. In this perfect cocoon, it's been created with such precision. So as we take a deep breath in, and we bring in that stillness that lets the mind take its proper position, we can start to tune in to these other ways of communicating with our timeless self. It's not going to come as a voice, that's schizophrenia. It's a new language, a more precise language. And we ask ourselves, we ask our timeless self, how can I connect even clearer? How can I be consciously aware of connecting even clearer? It's not that we're not connected, we're always connected. If we weren't, we couldn't be here. But we have these things called filters that tell us otherwise. So as we take a deep breath in, again coming back to the heart. The heart is a brain. So let's expand this heart, especially as we are going to open up these other realms that are principally based as an architecture on fear. So there's a lot of discussion in the world today about different sources, portals, spirit guides, entities, Satan. Shamanism, using black magic. Taking another breath in. So maybe just pausing here and asking yourself, what is the rule set that you've brought in to define these various sources? What do you believe? And did that belief, that value, come from something you read, you heard, perhaps a retreat you went on? In other words, is it outside of you, this information that came in to form these rule sets? Or have you received it directly, the knowledge, from your timeless self? It's a very important distinction. Because yes, we can talk about these other, not so benevolent sources out there. And then again, that is your truth. That's your definition. But just let's bring in awareness about where did this definition come from? So we just place that there for now to the side. Going back into our skeleton, into the heart area, that center. The heart versus the mind is limitless. The mind is limited. It's a processor. It doesn't create new concepts. It processes all of our past experiences. And that is how it references itself to go to the next thought, is from past experiences. So what we do here, as we take a breath in and we notice the heart area, this limitless communication channel, we start to move into the heart and out of the mind. The mind takes its proper position. The definition for many of you of the heart is love, peace. It is all that. But the bigger role, if you like, is a limitless communicator between ourselves and our timeless self, where the mind can only put together past experiences, information to create the values and beliefs it currently holds. So there's not a lot of expansion there. There's not a lot of shifting, evolving. Not a lot of metamorphosis can happen. And isn't that why we're all here? It's because we want to somehow tune in consciously to our timeless self, receive the guidance on what the mechanics are in order to become our best possible self, and then therefore have the best possible life here. So as we notice our body, this physical body of ours, noticing the judgment immediately came in when you referenced your body. Your timeless self isn't judging, for it knows you can be anything you wish. Once we step out of the mind and we start to tune in and communicate through the heart and start to receive that knowledge within, that knowledge that we are incredibly powerful beings here. We're the only ones that we're aware of, and nothing else has come to show us that they also can do it. We're the only ones that have been able to come from a timeless, non-physical intelligence into a time-bound physical body, being. What a magic act. But that's not the whole act. As we take a breath in, and now we come down to our groin, noticing the brain in the groin, connecting us to our animal aspects. We are animals. So we try to deny this, we try to push down these natural, primitive instincts, intelligence. In fact, they're the most sophisticated instincts, intelligence that we have. If we only had clarity. So we are this brilliant being that has done the great magic act of all time. Come into this physical form in a time capsule. Be part, yet completely independent, autonomous of the whole. That drop in the ocean Wow. Unfortunately, most people have only gotten to the point of being the drop, separate, outside of the whole, outside of the ocean. So as we breathe in, let's bring in this awareness within from your timeless self with less filters to show you this magical being. You are here already. Nothing needs changing, fixing, improving, learning. You've done it. You've done the magic act. But let's go deeper. Opening up this channel between you and your timeless self so you can receive within the truth of who you are with a capital T. Quite outside the 5 physical senses, quite outside people, places, and things here in this limited life that's constantly defining us, who we are and who we're not. Let's bring in that awareness. Help you move into that realm where this knowledge is available for you. And as you focus on your groin and you focus on your heart and now focus on your brain, the 3 together, in perfect harmony, this is where we can experience a sacred connection with another being, where we can experience sacred sex, which expands us together instead of taking away either from ourselves or the others. So as you come into that trilogy in harmony, I'll guide your spirit, your timeless self, so that you become aware of who you truly are here. And when we turn our attention onto Halloween and all of the characters that have been created around Halloween to induce fear, to induce intimidation, and that of course has rippled out into social media, television shows, movies, all based on these boogeymen of one kind or the other that is separate from you, that wants to basically destroy you. The fear. Fear is an emotion. The fear, the emotion that has been created as a consequence of these frequencies being exposed to us, and with us not knowing our true power, being intimidated by them. So as we take a breath in, I think we can park Halloween and all those characters, because most of us on this call are pretty clear on these fictional energies. So let's put our attention on what certainly is big in the well-being spiritual sector these days. It's these other sources that we can either tune into to give us these abilities, this inside knowledge to have us be special and different from everyone else, have us be separate from everyone else, have us define ourselves as superior over everyone else. Coming back to understanding our brilliance, understanding that we've done the greatest act ever. We've already achieved it. We've already done it. We're already here. There's nothing to prove. There's nothing to threaten us, to intimidate us. We have done what so far we have not been exposed to anything else out there in the universe doing it, nor has anything else in the universe come and exposed itself to us. So therefore, as of today, as of the thousands and thousands of years, the millions of years, we humans have been able to do the unthinkable. That's a lot of power. In order to do this magic act, we had to erase our memory of who we truly are. And I won't go too much into details. It's a whole lecture series on the metaphysics behind us coming into human form. But we've done it. So as we take that breath in and as we notice the trilogy and the harmony, the alignment the three are in, we observe with neutrality, no judgment, no intimidation, no superiority. We just observe the rule set that we've created within about spirit guides, entities, your timeless self, portals, alien technologies. The list goes on. It's just a certain flavor. And we gain that awareness that all of those things combined cannot come close to the power, the purity, the precision of your timeless self. And you are that expression. For myself, I've had many experiences interacting with entities, different spirits. Until I did it. Until I truly understood within that there is nothing more powerful than my timeless self, my spirit, and that connection. I don't need anything outside. And just as a note, not all outside sources are benevolent. Entities are just pockets of information that has been fully developed. It's just seeking completion like we are. So, it'll attach onto something, if permitted. And I speak this from experience. I had an entity. I was in a vulnerable position. I wasn't in my body grounded. Boop. An entity came for 2 months. And although we're cognitive of ourselves, our beliefs, our values, our emotions are anything but ourselves. It's kind of like when people have blood transfusions, organ replacements. They come out of the operation and their spouse will say, this isn't the person I know. Taking another breath in. So I stick close to home. I don't venture out thinking there's some other higher being that's going to help me. And if something, and for those of you who are on this journey and getting into abilities, this will be presented to you. If something comes to you wanting to help you, it's very simple. On the other side, there's full transparency. Everybody, everything knows its pecking order, what frequency, what clarity, what proximity to truth it is. Nothing below you can ever influence you. The weapon it uses is fear. So that's why so many. Lower frequencies run the world out of fear induced on people because they do not have the awareness of who they truly are. So if something's presented to you, it's a very simple interview. As everything is transparent, nothing can be hidden. And you can ask, are you from pure source? Do you have my best intentions? If there's no answer, ask again. It has to answer. And if simply it's not from pure source, which pure source does not, your spirit does not present itself, or it hasn't presented itself in the same fashion to me, you can just tell it to get lost. Don't worry about hurting its feelings. It's not going to get angry and rebel by you being firm, well-defined, taking back control of who you truly are here. You instructed. It has no permission to enter. A lot of people who have alcoholism or drug addiction, they open up these realms when they're under the influence. They're vulnerable. Things pop in. I'm sure many of us have been around people who say, oh my, when my partner or somebody drinks, they turn into a totally different person. Because they are a totally different person. Something else is taking residency. It's called spirits. Alcohol. Spirits. So as we take a deep breath in, we start to understand what control we have. And as we understand that, it becomes clear to us that the only thing I need to focus on is connecting deeper to my higher self. I don't need third parties. We've seen enough, especially now in Hollywood, it's all coming out. It's very clever. You get seduced. You get off your mark. You give away your control. You get into a state of anxiety, depression, panic, fear. You're vulnerable. It's kind of like how they've done it in the wars. You're desperate. Something comes along. Hey, I can help you out. Or if it's not from that side, you're ambitious. You're caught up in the world. You want to be a celebrity. You want billions. You want to be with supermodels, whatever it might be, whatever that wish list is. Well, somebody may come along and say, hey, I can do that for you. Just an easy exchange. Just a piece of your life. So as we take a deep breath in, we understand we don't need to do that. We're here right now in our body, in this perfect moment, aligned with our timeless self who has our back at all times. We don't want to pay that price for whatever is on offer. I promise you. If it's something from here, this world, you're being shortchanged. And I'm always a little confused. I've asked my teachers, all this talk about selling out, giving away a part of your light for whatever, I can't imagine it. Nothing in my experience, nothing can come even close to the completion, the peace, the euphoria, the empowerment I have when I'm still and in alignment with my timeless self. Nothing could compete with that. So I'm not willing to even have an introduction to the conversation. So as we take a breath in, knowing the power we are here, knowing our timeless self is the most powerful connection you can ever have, it's the purest, it will take you in this world, is far more than what you need. We don't need to go to anything else. For some of those of you, as we're doing this, you're disconnecting at a frequency level from these other sources. You may lose the abilities that you gain from them. Don't worry. Stay present. Ask your timeless self for a better version, a cleaner version. And what will come in will make the abilities you have elementary school. Another breath in. In the time to come, you'll get more awareness. The mind will catch up. We're shifting this at a frequency level right now, bringing you into a better position in space and time with clarity. Your mind will start catching up. Just observe it. And keep looking forward. The past is over. It has no source attached to it. It has no influence over you. But because we use the mind, we keep creating the next moment from the past. So I just suggest, keep looking forward to that next version you're walking into. That version that is bankrolled by your timeless self to provide everything you need to be that next better version of yourself and have that next better life around you. Celebrate Halloween, but celebrate for what it is. It's a fictional story. Anything is true. That's how powerful we are. That's how we create these matrices. The collective, enough people together believe something is true, it becomes the truth. It's manifested here. So choose what reality you're creating around you. Come back into your power. And with that, I'll see you all next week.